Fluent Flow Podcast. New videos every day. Let's learn English together.
Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
This is your shortcut to being well-informed. We take a stack of sources, or like today, a really interesting single source, and we pull out the most important nuggets, the key insights. Our mission, always, is to help you cut through all the noise, find those aha moments that, genuinely shift your perspective and leave you feeling sharper without all the overwhelm. Today, we're doing something a bit different, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, our source material isn't like a dense academic paper or some cutting-edge research report. Nope. We're diving deep into something beautifully simple, but I think profoundly effective. It's actually an episode from another podcast.
That's right. We're zooming in on episode 32 for the Fluent Flow Podcast. It's called Little Habits That Changed My Life.
Right.
And what's fascinating here isn't just what it says, although that's really interesting too, but it's how it says it. And, the whole context it was presented in. Well, this podcast, Fluent Flow, it's very upfront about its purpose. It says, this podcast helps you learn English slowly, clearly, and with joy.
Okay.
Yeah, specifically designed as easy to understand English for beginners.
I found that really intriguing when we were prepping. You might think, okay, why is the Deep Dive a show that usually tackles complex stuff, focusing on something for language beginners? Yeah. But I think it's precisely because of that simplicity, that gentle clarity. It lets these really profound truths about, human behavior shine through without any jargon or unnecessary complexity getting in the way.
Exactly. It strips it all back.
It really does. And the opening of that episode, it just sets this incredibly welcoming, almost universal tone. It starts, "Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Fluent Flow Podcast. I'm happy you are here."
Yeah, it's very warm.
It is. And that immediate sense of warmth, that accessibility, it's not just a style choice for its original audience, I don't think. It perfectly sets the stage for the actual message of the episode itself.
It creates an immediate connection, doesn't it? Just drops any pretense, invites you into this space of gentle learning and thinking about yourself. And the main theme, well, the title says it all really. Little habits, small things I do every day. That made a big difference in my life. And then it adds, yes, little habits, big change.
Little habits, big change. I like that.
It's a promise, right? A promise of transformation that feels totally achievable no matter where you are on your own journey.
So, okay, to really kick off this deep dive properly, let's lay the groundwork. What exactly is a habit according to this Fluent Flow episode? And why is that seemingly simple definition, why is it so crucial for understanding the impact of these little habits?
That's the perfect place to start, because the source itself, it takes the time to build this foundation, and its simplicity is, honestly, its greatest strength. It defines a habit as, and I'm quoting here, something you do often. You do it again and again. It becomes part of your life.
Simple. Direct.
Very. And what's powerful about that isn't just the words, it's the immediate recognition you feel. It just strips away any complexity, makes the whole concept instantly relatable to your everyday life. We all have things we do often, again and again, that become part of our lives, right? Whether we consciously chose them or not.
And it makes it super clear we're not talking about these huge monumental efforts that need superhuman willpower.
Not at all.
The examples it gives are things we all recognize, things most of us probably already do. It lists brushing your teeth, drinking water, and saying thank you.
Exactly.
These are truly universal, almost automatic actions for so many people. It highlights that habits aren't always about, radical change.
Precisely. That simple definition, plus those wonderfully mundane examples, they highlight a really critical point. Habits aren't just conscious decisions we make. They're actions that have become so ingrained, so automatic, that they often just slip below the radar of our active thinking.
Right, like driving a car sometimes.
Kinda, yeah. Think of it like this. Your brain is incredibly efficient. It wants to save energy. So when you repeat an action enough times, it literally wires up neural pathways. It turns a conscious effort into an unconscious routine. That's why you can brush your teeth while you're thinking about your schedule for the day or whatever. These actions just get woven into the fabric of our daily lives, sometimes for the better and sometimes, unfortunately, for the worse.
And that, for better or worse part, that's where the source brings in a really important distinction, isn't it? It's key to the whole premise. It says, some habits are good, some habits are bad.
Yes. Crucial distinction.
It's not just about the repetition itself, it's about the quality, the impact of that repetition on your life.
That distinction is absolutely vital because it immediately shifts the focus. It goes from just routine, just doing stuff, to intentionality. The goal isn't just to do things repeatedly. It's to identify and then cultivate and intentionally repeat actions that genuinely serve your well-being, your growth, your overall quality of life.
Yeah.
Without that filter of good or bad, a habit is just, well, a behavior. But with this distinction, it becomes a powerful tool, a tool for personal development, a pathway to a better life. It moves us from being passive repeaters to active creators of the future we want.
And the source really drives this home with its kind of mission statement for the habits it's about to show. It says, today I will share good habits that help me feel better, think better, and live better. That's not just about sticking to a schedule, is it? It feels like a deliberate path towards, a more flourishing life.
It absolutely is. That statement connects directly with this fundamental human desire we all have for improvement, for growth. It frames habits not as chores or obligations you have to do,
Right.
but as accessible levers you can pull for profound transformation. By focusing on feeling better, thinking better, and living better, the source taps into this deeper, more intrinsic motivation. It suggests that even these small, deliberate choices can lead to significant positive shifts.
And the simple language makes it feel achievable.
Totally. The very accessibility of the language in the original podcast makes these profound truths feel remarkably doable. It's almost like the simplicity of the delivery actually amplifies the power of the message.
Okay, so let's unpack these habits then. Let's start with what the source calls the morning routine. I like to think of it as the sunrise symphony of habits.
Nice, Race.
The source puts a huge emphasis on mornings. It says, quite simply, let's start with my morning. From a behavioral science perspective, what is it about those early hours? Why are they such a critical launching pad for good habits from this kind of perspective?
Well, mornings are often highlighted as foundational for really a very compelling set of reasons, both psychological and physiological.
Okay.
Psychologically, it's about setting a kind of default mode for your entire day. By intentionally shaping your first few actions, you're essentially programming your brain, setting it up for clarity, for productivity, for calm. Instead of immediately getting pulled into a reactive state by, notifications buzzing or emails piling up.
Yeah, the dreaded phone check first thing.
Exactly. And then physiologically, our bodies run on this roughly 24-hour internal clock, right? The circadian rhythm. Aligning your actions with this rhythm, especially first thing in the morning, can significantly improve your energy levels, your mental focus, even your hormone balance throughout the day. It's about seizing that window of opportunity before the world's demands fully kick in, and maybe your willpower starts to fade a bit.
That makes a lot of sense. So the first habit the source highlights, fittingly, is waking up early. But it's not just early, it's consistent. I try to wake up at the same time every day.
Yes.
And the benefits cited are really clear and powerful. It helps my mind feel clear. It gives me time for myself.
That consistency is absolutely key. When you wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends ideally, you reinforce and stabilize your body's natural circadian rhythm. This leads to more consistent, higher quality sleep over time. And as the source puts it so beautifully, it leads to improved mental clarity and more stable energy levels during the day.
Yeah.
This isn't just about discipline. It's about optimizing your own biology.
And time for myself part.
That speaks to a vital psychological benefit too. It provides this invaluable personal space, a sense of control over your day before external obligations start dictating your schedule. This kind of proactive self-care can be a powerful antidote to feeling perpetually behind or, overwhelmed.
I can definitely relate to that quiet solitude of early mornings. It really does feel like having a secret head start on the world, doesn't it? A moment to just be before the hustle kicks in. It's a genuine luxury in a busy life, I think. A chance to set your own agenda, even if it's just for 15, 20 minutes.
Exactly. And that feeling of control, that peaceful solitude, it can significantly reduce your baseline stress and anxiety levels. It's a proactive step. You're nurturing your mental well-being before the day's challenges even really arrive.
Yeah.
You're setting this fundamentally positive tone for everything that follows, building up a little reserve of calm.
Okay, building on that initial clarity, the source then offers another wonderfully simple morning ritual, one that tackles a really foundational physiological need, hydration. It says, after I wake up, I drink 1 glass of water.
Simple stuff.
So simple. And the benefit described is equally simple yet resonant. This helps my body feel fresh, and then it encourages you directly. Try it. It's simple and powerful.
And it truly is remarkably impactful for such a tiny effort. Think about it. After hours of sleep, your body is naturally in a state of mild dehydration.
Right.
So that first glass of water is a simple but incredibly effective way to rehydrate your cells, to kickstart your metabolism, and just signal to all your internal systems, okay, time to wake up, time to get moving.
It's more than just feeling fresh then.
Oh yeah, it's about jump-starting crucial bodily functions. Everything from nutrient transport to waste elimination. Can even help with mental alertness. It's just this small conscious act that starts a cascade of positive physiological responses. Sets the stage for better energy, better focus through the morning.
Then we move into a habit that goes a bit deeper, into mental and emotional well-being, journaling. The source says, every morning, I write a few lines, I write how I feel, I write what I want to do. And it uses such a beautiful analogy for it, almost poetic. It's like talking to myself with kindness.
I love that phrasing.
Me too. And the payoff. This small habit helps my mind stay calm. It's a good way to start the day.
That phrase, talking to myself with kindness, that's particularly insightful, I think. Captures the essence of really effective journaling. It's not just about, recording what happened.
Right.
It's a powerful tool for self-reflection, for emotional processing, for cognitive organization. By getting thoughts and feelings out of your head and onto paper, you create a kind of psychological distance from them.
Yeah.
This act literally helps move overwhelming or maybe chaotic thoughts from the emotional reactive part of your brain, the limbic system, to the more analytical part, the prefrontal cortex. This allows for greater clarity, it reduces their emotional charge, and it effectively declutters your mind.
And the kindness part is key.
Absolutely vital. It means approaching your inner world without judgment. That's crucial for maintaining a calm mind and shaping a positive perspective for the day ahead. It's a way to acknowledge, to validate your internal landscape before you engage with the external world.
And finally, in the morning routine, a habit that feels incredibly relevant, maybe even essential in our always-on screen-dominated world.
Let me guess. The phone.
You got it. And of
Yeah.
course, no phone in the first 30 minutes. The source even acknowledges the difficulty right up front, saying, this is hard, but it helps me feel peaceful. That admission feels very real, very relatable.
It is relatable because it is hard. It speaks to one of the biggest challenges in modern life, I think.
Yeah.
Immediately grabbing your phone when you wake up just exposes your brain to this barrage of external demands, right?
Yeah, totally. Notifications, emails.
Social media comparisons, news alerts. It instantly puts you in a reactive state, can activate your fight or flight response with every ping, every alert.
Wow, okay.
So by protecting those first 30 minutes, you allow your mind to wake up naturally, to process your own thoughts and feelings without that immediate external interruption, without the burden of other people's priorities hitting you first thing.
Yeah.
This deliberate pause, it fosters this really profound sense of peace and internal control. Instead of starting the day feeling, overwhelmed or distracted right away, it creates a critical buffer zone, allows your brain to gently warm up, like easing your foot onto the accelerator instead of just slamming it down.
It's definitely a habit I struggle with personally, I'll admit. But the rewards, when I do manage to resist that immediate digital pull, they're undeniable. You really do feel a tangible difference in your mental state through the morning. It's like giving your brain that gentle on-ramp instead of throwing it straight onto the information superhighway. That piece really is worth the effort.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about intentional input. It's about conscious control over your initial mental environment. That protected space allows for internal calibration, which is just invaluable.
So we've covered that crucial morning routine, those foundational acts that really set the tone. Now let's talk about the habits that the source weaves into the rest of the day. As it says, now let's talk about the habits I use during the day.
Yeah.
This signals that habits aren't just for the bookends of the day, right? They can be integrated throughout our active hours, offering these little moments of reset and reconnection.
Indeed. And that's a common misconception, I think, that habits are only for these structured morning or evening routines. But the source wisely emphasizes that small, intentional actions can be woven throughout the day. They act like micro-interventions.
Micro-interventions, I like that.
These midday habits serve as these crucial moments of reset. They allow for reconnection with yourself, with your immediate environment, even with other people. They help prevent that insidious buildup of stress, they help maintain focus, and they contribute to overall well-being during those periods of sustained activity.
Okay.
Think of them as small, deliberate pauses that offer significant cumulative benefits. They keep you anchored and refreshed as the day goes on.
One of the daytime habits that really resonated with me, especially for those of us who spend a lot of time indoors, maybe at a desk, is taking small walks.
Yes, the walk.
The source details this. I go outside for 10 minutes. I walk slowly. I look at the trees, the sky, the people. It evokes this feeling of being deeply present. It makes me feel alive. And the practical benefit is straightforward. Fresh air is good for the body and the brain.
That mindful observation part during the walk, that's genuinely transformative. It's not just about the physical movement itself, although that's beneficial too, right? For circulation, energy levels, breaking up sedentary time. But it's about engaging your senses, noticing the world around you, stepping away, even just briefly, from your immediate tasks. This kind of nature exposure, even urban nature and mindful observation, has well-documented profound effects on stress reduction. It lowers cortisol levels, improves mood.
Really?
Just 10 minutes.
It can make a difference. It offers a crucial cognitive break that can actually boost creativity and problem solving. It allows your brain to enter a more diffuse, less intensely focused state. It gives you a new perspective, makes you feel more grounded, re-energized, and, as the source so simply puts it, alive. It's like a mini mindfulness retreat woven right into your workday.
Okay, another incredibly powerful yet surprisingly simple habit mentioned is saying thank you more often.
Gratitude.
Yeah. The source clarifies even for small things, and it gives such lovely, accessible examples. Thank you for the food. Thank you for my home. Thank you for this moment. And then describes the profound outcome. This habit brings more gratitude, and gratitude brings more happiness. This habit taps right into the core of positive psychology. And it has real neurobiological implications too. Gratitude isn't just some fleeting emotion, it's a practice. It's a way of intentionally shifting your brain's focus from what might be lacking or what's wrong to what is present and good. By actively verbalizing or even just internally acknowledging thank you for seemingly mundane things, your coffee, a comfortable chair, a moment of quiet, you are literally retraining your brain to spot the positive.
Retraining your brain. Okay.
Yeah. And this practice has a well-documented impact on overall well-being. It reduces negative emotions like envy or resentment. It fosters optimism. It actually strengthens social bonds because it has this ripple effect on your interactions. It can even increase your resilience to stress by shifting your brain's default mode away from threat detection towards reward anticipation. It's a conscious choice to cultivate a mindset of abundance, one tiny moment of appreciation at a time.
And then something absolutely crucial for anyone who works or studies intensely, which I think probably describes a lot of our listeners, is taking short breaks. Exactly. The source clarifies, when I feel tired, I stop. Just 5 minutes. I breathe, I listen to music, I stretch my body.
Simple resets.
Yeah, and the immediate benefits are clear, super practical. This habit helps me work better, and it helps me feel better.
This addresses that critical concept of attention fatigue. Our brains, they're just not designed for sustained, uninterrupted focus for hours and hours on end. Our capacity for concentrated mental effort, it's finite. It depletes over time.
Right, you hit a wall.
You hit a wall. Micro breaks, even just 5 minutes, are vital for restoring those cognitive resources and preventing burnout. By intentionally pausing, breathe deeply, stretch. Listen to one song you're giving your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain handling planning, decision-making, focused attention. You're given a chance to recover. This leads to improved concentration afterwards, better decision-making, enhanced creativity sometimes, and greater mental resilience overall. Ultimately, it makes you more productive and significantly less stressed when you return to your tasks. It's about working smarter, not just pushing harder until you completely crash.
It's so true. I know if I try to push through when I'm feeling that fatigue, I just end up staring blankly at the screen. It's totally unproductive. And those 5 minutes of just stepping away, they can genuinely save me like an hour of frustrating, unproductive struggle later. It's a real return on investment for your mental energy.
Absolutely. It's often counterintuitive, especially for high achievers, right? But breaks are not a sign of weakness. They are a strategic investment in sustained efficiency and, just as importantly, in your well-being.
Okay, so we've journeyed through the crucial morning habits. We've integrated these mindful pauses into the middle of the day. Now let's talk about winding down. Let's talk about the evening habits. As the source says, let's talk about evening habits.
Yeah, the transition to rest.
This is where we deliberately prepare for rest and recovery, isn't it?
It's profoundly vital. Just like morning routines set the tone for the day ahead, evening routines are critical for signaling to your body and your mind, okay, it's time to shift gears. Time to transition from activity to rest.
Okay.
They're about winding down deliberately, creating a peaceful separation between the day's demands and the night's rejuvenation, and ultimately preparing your physiology and your psychology for quality sleep. These habits literally help you get ready to truly recharge, ensuring that the next day starts from a place of genuine rest, not just lingering exhaustion.
The first evening habit mentioned, one I think is often overlooked in our super bright digital world, is turning off bright lights. The source explains, at night, I use soft lights. And the simple yet profound benefit. This tells my brain it's time to relax.
This habit is so deeply rooted in our biology, in our evolutionary history. Bright light, especially that blue spectrum light we get from screens, LED bulbs, bright overhead fixtures, it can significantly suppress the production of melatonin.
Melatonin, the sleep hormone.
Exactly, the hormone that regulates our natural sleep-wake cycle. When your brain gets hit with bright light late in the evening, it interprets this as daylight. It gets mixed signals about when it should be preparing for sleep. So by switching to soft, warm, ambient lights, think lamps instead of overheads, you're sending a clear, direct physiological signal to your brain. It's evening. It's time to slow down. Sleep is approaching. This helps your body naturally gear up for rest, makes it easier to fall asleep, and actually improves the quality of that sleep once you do nod off.
It's like dimming the lights for a performance.
Exactly. Telling your brain the show's about to end for the day.
And speaking of screens and light, the no phone rule makes a very welcome reappearance.
Knew it was coming back.
Yeah. The source notes, I also have a no phone rule again. 1 hour before sleep, no phone. And instead it suggests things like, instead I read a book, or I listen to soft music. Sometimes I write in my journal again. It's like a double dose of digital detox, really reinforcing that boundary.
It's a powerful reinforcement of the morning habit, and for very similar reasons. Maybe even more critical at night. Beyond the blue light suppressing melatonin that we just talked about, the sheer cognitive load, the constant stimulation from phones right before bed, it's incredibly detrimental to sleep quality and just mental rest. Think about the content itself. Emails needing replies, endless social media scrolling, stressful news, addictive games.
Yeah, it winds you up.
Totally winds you up. All of it can activate your mind, lead to rumination, anxiety, this state of hyperarousal that just makes peaceful sleep impossible. So replacing that with quiet analog activities, reading of a physical book, listening to calm music, maybe journaling again, it allows your brain to properly decompress, to process the day without more external distractions flooding in. It lets you enter a calmer, more reflective state that's actually conducive to restorative sleep. It really creates a mental decompression chamber for your brain.
A mental decompression chamber. I like that. Okay, another favorite evening habit, surprisingly simple again, is preparing for tomorrow.
Ah, the planning habit.
Yes. The source says, I write my plan for the next day. Simple tasks, nothing too big. And the huge benefit it provides is beautifully clear. This helps me sleep better. I don't feel stress.
This habit is just brilliant. It's a highly effective anxiety reducer. Often, our minds race at night, right? Cycling through to-do lists, worries, things we forgot.
Definitely.
Precisely because we're subconsciously trying to remember everything we need to tackle tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's actually a name for this, the Zeigarnik effect. It suggests that incomplete tasks tend to occupy our minds more insistently.
Huh, interesting.
So by externalizing those thoughts, by simply writing down a concise, realistic plan for the next day, you offload that mental burden. You get it out of your head. It provides this profound sense of control, a sense of completion for the day that just ended. It allows your mind to relax because it knows, okay, everything's accounted for.
Yeah, it's captured somewhere safe.
Exactly. And this pre-planning also sets you up for a more efficient morning, right? Prevents decision fatigue first thing. Ensures you wake up with a clear sense of direction, which further contributes to feeling less stressed and more confident as you start the day.
And finally, wrapping up the evening, a habit that brings us full circle back to gratitude, offering a sense of completion for the day.
The evening gratitude.
Yes. And finally, I say thank you again. Before sleep, I say in my mind, thank you for today. And what's beautiful about this is the nuance it adds. Even if it was not perfect, even if I was tired, still, thank you.
That nuance is profoundly important. It reflects such a deep understanding of, well, human experience. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything was rosy or denying any difficulties you faced during the day.
It's not toxic positivity.
Not at all. It's about cultivating resilience. It's about processing the day and acknowledging the simple fact of existence, the opportunities it presented regardless of the day's difficulties. Ending the day with gratitude helps you filter through the events, shift your perspective towards a more positive, more accepting outlook, and it cultivates a sense of peace that is just so conducive to restful sleep. It's a powerful way to close the day on a note of acceptance and appreciation, and that can significantly impact your mental and emotional state as you drift off. It helps you wake up feeling more refreshed, more optimistic, ready to face whatever the new day brings. It's about finding the good, even when it's kind of hidden.
So, okay, we've explored this whole collection of these little habits, spanning morning, midday, evening. We've seen how they individually contribute to well-being. But the ultimate question this source poses, and it's one that resonates so deeply with our deep dive mission here, is, now, why are these small habits so powerful?
Yes.
This is where the real magic lies, isn't it?
It absolutely is. The source's answer, and I think the core insight here, could be perfectly framed around that idea of compound interest, like in finance.
Yeah.
But applied directly to personal growth, to self-improvement. Just as small financial investments made consistently over time accumulate into significant wealth. These seemingly small, consistent efforts in our daily lives, these little habits, they compound into profound transformative results. Each tiny action, when you repeat it, it builds upon the last one. It creates this powerful ripple effect that eventually redefines your well-being, your mindset, the whole trajectory of your life, really. It's the silent, incremental power of consistent, positive choices.
The source gives such wonderfully clear, tangible examples of this compounding effect. It breaks it down in a way that makes that abstract idea of compounding immediately graspable. It says things like, 1 glass of water a day becomes health. 5 minutes of writing becomes clarity. 10 minutes of walking becomes peace. 1 moment of gratitude becomes joy.
Exactly. These are just isolated benefits. They are cumulative and they're interconnected. Think about it. 1 glass of water seems insignificant, but over a week, that's 7 glasses. Over a month, roughly 30. Over a year, 365 glasses. That consistent hydration, day after day, it fundamentally alters your body's chemistry, your energy levels, leads to better metabolic function, maybe improved skin, sustained mental alertness, which in turn supports other healthy habits.
It all links together.
It really does. Similarly, 5 minutes of journaling daily.
Yeah.
Over a year. That adds up to over 30 hours of dedicated self-reflection and emotional processing. That fosters a level of clarity, of self-awareness that you just couldn't achieve in these isolated longer sessions, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
And what's also incredibly powerful about this whole little habits approach is the low barrier to entry. It feels doable. The source states you don't need to change everything.
Which is such a relief, honestly.
It is. That accessibility, it reduces the overwhelm that so often comes with wanting to improve yourself. It makes it far more likely that someone will actually start and, crucially, stick with a new behavior. The perceived effort is minimal, but the long-term gain is potentially immense.
And it really hammers home that call to action, doesn't it? It says quite directly, just start with one habit. Choose one small habit today. Maybe drink more water. Maybe write how you feel. Maybe say thank you.
One thing.
Just one thing. And then it gives you the simple yet profound mantra for success. Do it every day. Repeat, repeat.
That repetition, that is the absolute foundational key. And it's deeply grounded in neurobiology. Our brains are incredibly adaptive, right? They're constantly forming and strengthening connections based on our experiences. Through consistent repetition, we literally wire new neural pathways. We make these chosen actions more automatic, less effortful. Eventually, they become an ingrained, almost unconscious part of who you are. It significantly reduces the need for constant willpower.
So it gets easier over time.
Exactly. It's like carving a deeper, smoother groove in your mind with each repetition until the action just flows without resistance. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, until it actually feels strange not to do it.
And then the ultimate promise, the vision of what this consistent incremental effort leads to. A truly empowering thought. One day, it becomes part of you. And slowly, your life will feel better, brighter, stronger.
Yeah.
It's such a compelling vision, connecting these simple, accessible steps to a profound positive transformation in your life. almost effortlessly, it seems, over time.
It creates this powerful, personal, and really encouraging vision. It validates those seemingly small efforts by painting a clear, inspiring picture of the ultimate reward.
Yeah.
A genuinely better quality of life. It's the long game, isn't it? Played out one small, deliberate action at a time, where consistency is the quiet engine driving monumental change.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it just feels abundantly clear that the immense power residing in consistent, small, positive habits. That's truly the core insight revealed through this fascinating exploration of the Fluent Flow podcast.
It's a real testament to the idea that sometimes the most impactful wisdom comes in the simplest, most accessible packages.
Indeed. It powerfully reiterates that true transformation, it often stems not from these grand, overwhelming gestures, but from the quiet, consistent application of seemingly insignificant actions.
Right.
And what's particularly brilliant about this source, I think, is that the simplicity of its language, its delivery, actually makes these ideas even more potent. It cuts through any potential complexity or resistance and just delivers this profoundly actionable wisdom directly to the listener.
And it's worth noting, too, the original podcast's sign-off. It perfectly encapsulates this dual value learning English and learning about habits. And it has that gentle encouragement that makes the whole approach feel so accessible.
What does it say again?
It says, "Thank you for listening. I hope this episode helped you. Remember, you are learning, you are growing, and little habits will help you more than you think. You can come back and listen again. Practice your English little by little. You are doing great."
Ah, that's lovely. Isn't it? It's like a masterclass in habits delivered through a format that's designed for gradual learning and consistent effort itself.
That really drives home the point, doesn't it? The very delivery of the original content, slow, clear, beginner-friendly, it perfectly models and reinforces its central message about the power of small, consistent actions. It embodies the incremental progress it advocates, making the learning experience itself an illustration of that little-by-little principle. It's a truly powerful learning tool, teaching both language acquisition and fundamental life wisdom at the same time.
So as you, our listener, reflect on what we've unpacked today, here's maybe a final thought to ponder, something to carry with you beyond this deep dive.
Okay.
If even the smallest, most seemingly insignificant daily choice can, when repeated consistently, lead to profound personal change, what one tiny action could you begin today? Just one. That, over time, might just redefine your future in ways you can't yet imagine.
One tiny action. And maybe beyond that, just consider the inherent generosity in sharing such simple yet profoundly effective life strategies, like the Fluent Flow podcast does. It reminds us that the act of teaching, even in this very accessible way, it often reinforces understanding for both the person sharing and the person receiving, creates this positive feedback loop of growth and clarity and shared wisdom. It's just a wonderful example of how clarity and maybe compassion can make complex ideas universally impactful.
What a fantastic deep dive into the quiet, immense power of the small. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.